Let us not forget everything that happens. It's by the will of Allah. Holy will. It's time to unite and stand, and we will be the best amongst men. It's not time to be extreme or do the unthinkable, but to stand together as one. Tune into Sunnah followers, stream it every day, various platforms. Trust me, you'll find a way. Sunnah followers. Hey, I got a couple questions for y'all. The first one, who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? Now, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're one of those people that have been trying to get information and you come across this, or even this. All right, take a listen.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister lailanasheeba, the Managing Director and Founder of Sunnahfollowers Online Islamic University. As you know, we have classes every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we cover everything from Aqidah, which is your belief system, to Seerah, which are the stories of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the story of the companions. Please join us every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are broadcasting and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, DLive, Trovo, and Twitch. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Yusuf and this is Ayub. And if you are benefiting like we are from the classes and the ongoing programming and tuning into the Sunnah followers, please donate. Let this be an ongoing sadaqah jariyah on your behalf. You're helping the kids, the converts, and everyone seeking knowledge. And it's a wealth of information every day you tune in. Don't forget, you are being rewarded for your generous donations to keep this programming on air. You know, just like what you're hearing, put your dollar where the dollar's at. Right here on Sunnahfollowers. Don't forget, donate. Right here to Sunnahfollowers and Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Most powerful, just my Redeemer, provider.
The Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, anyone who puts to memory the names of Allah can only be guaranteed paradise. But it's not just simple remembrance. It's taking the names of Allah and seeing that He is who He says He is, and then applying it to your heart and showing it through your actions. Join Ustada lailanasheeba as she takes us through the names and attributes of Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Listen, we are in dire need of donations to keep these shows running and available for you 24/7. So that means when you're in the car, it's available for you to listen to. Whether you're at work, streaming, playing a game, it's available for you to listen to. Growing your deen and learning about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful different topics of Islam. Listen, one of the heaviest deeds that could be placed on your scale on the Day of Judgment is sadaqah jariyah. Yes, I know, I'm trying to build deeds daily. So you can too. So listen, feel free and please, from the bottom of your heart, donate to this wonderful cause, wonderful website and platform to continually push out shows that will benefit you and the Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can donate by going to the SunnahFollowers.net website, pressing the donate tab. You can also scan the QR code in YouTube on the far left top of our videos that are streaming. Listen, guys, this is very important, and take this as important. We want to keep this programming available for you 24/7 so that you have access in your car, anywhere you choose to tune in to this wonderful programming. Yes, guys, it's all at your disposal. So listen, feel free to donate. Once again, remember, Sadaqah Jariyah, one of the heaviest deeds on your scale on the Day of Judgment.
My name is Sully, better known as Pius. I can help with surahs, so I can recite.
My name is Suhaila, memorizing surahs, reading the Quran, and practicing the Sunnah.
My name is Mommy, better known as Umi. Islamic education is key to the family. We tune in every day to learn something new, and Sunnah Followers is helping us, and it could help you too. Tune in every day for new programming. Stay tuned.
And much more.
Assalamu alaikum.
In alhamdulillah, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our Ramadan prep series. And alhamdulillah, this series is designed just to give you a little brief explanation as to what is expected of you for this upcoming month, which will be in the next week or so. And alhamdulillah, I have a lot of Muslims here with me who are new to Islam. And I also have Muslims who are not new to Islam, but are new to practice. And again, I want to encourage you guys to continue to join this class even after Ramadan begins, because I will continue, to take you through the month of Ramadan. I will help you get through Ramadan day by day. I'll go over what I'm teaching now again. I'll also give you tips on how to better spend your time and how to reap the most benefit from this most sacred month of the year. Now, yesterday, I gave a very intense class. I spoke yesterday about how the month of Ramadan is determined, because every year there seems to be a fitna, which is not surprising. The Prophet said this would happen. The Sunnah would become abandoned. The Sunnah would become forgotten. Unfortunately, every Ramadan, you have Muslims, instead of them following the Sunnah of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, obeying the Prophet as Allah instructs us to, you find people looking for local sightings and this type of thing, which is not the way it's supposed to be in Islam. That is not how the month of Ramadan is determined. And I went over the story about that, how that happened one time, why it happened, and it didn't happen during the lifetime of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It happened during the fitan that had emerged when the companions were fighting each other, that civil war that was going on. But anyway, the thing that I want every Muslim listening to me to understand is no one, I repeat, no one has the authority to add anything into this religion. No one has the authority to change anything in this religion. Okay? The religion has been completed and perfected for us by Allah. And Allah taught us how to implement Islam, which is total submission to Him in our everyday lives through the example of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if there's more details needed, we really need to try to better understand how to implement the deen. We look to the original companions, because Allah tells us that no human beings understand this religion better than they do. And that's why all of my teachings here, my teachings are not based on any opinions, any method, any of that. My opinion, my teachings are based solely on the Quran, the authentic hadith, with the understanding of the companions. I'm going to give you what the companions had to say, not what an imam had to say. Big difference. Okay. So yesterday we spoke about how the month of fasting is determined to begin and end. And also yesterday we talked about traveling. You know, you might find yourself in a situation during this sacred month where you may have to go out of town for business, your job, or maybe someone gets sick in your family or whatever, because things happen. Life goes on. Life happens. So I have a few questions I want to ask you guys from yesterday's lecture just to see how well you pay attention. And also I want to again and tell all the people here, I hope that you guys have me on your big screen TV. I hope that the family gathers around the TV at 6 o'clock, you know, to hear this class, even during the month of Ramadan. You want to put this class on the big screen TV, you know, and the whole family gather around to remember Allah together and to fast and practice this Ramadan correctly. So I hope you guys have me on the television. I hope the kids are listening. And I want to see if some of the kids can answer these questions too. All right, let's look at the first question I have for you guys. And I didn't put it on PowerPoint. I wanted to ask it because I want to, you know, allow myself to be seen a little bit too. You know, for the video, I don't want to just have all PowerPoint. You have a right to see who you are taking your knowledge from. You should know who you are getting your information of Islam from. And I am dressed the way the Muslim woman is commanded to dress. My voice is direct, loud, and strong, the way Allah commands the Muslim woman to be when she is public in the public. So there's nothing haram about lailanasheeba. It may be something haram about you, but that's another story. So let me ask these questions, and I want to hear from the children too. I got my teacher's cap on. Oh yeah, for the Sunnah follower kids. I'm in teacher mode. You know, I'm a professional teacher too. So I'm in teacher mode. So first question, and this is simply a true or false question. I want to see everybody answer. People on YouTube, I can see your typing too. People on Trovo and my Twitch, people on Twitch and DLive and Twitter and LinkedIn, I can see everybody's type. And that's another reason why I'm not putting it on PowerPoint too, because of the questions, because I want to see your answers. I want to make sure that we're all together, that everybody understands the basics here. I see Sakina's here and Sister Samira. Okay, good job. Okay, first question. True or false? True or false? Ramadan begins with the local sighting of the moon. True or false? Ramadan begins with the local sighting of the moon. True or false?
It's false.
Okay, what's false about it? Why is it false? If it doesn't believe, Ramadan doesn't begin with the local sighting, how does it begin? In other words, explain to me how it begins. Who answered the question? Was that Tahira?
Yeah, because it doesn't recite on the thing. It recites on the
The moon, we don't look for a local sighting. Well, how do we what do we look for? How do we know when Ramadan begins? What do we look for? If we don't look for the moon locally, what do we do? Anybody else help her out?
So how the month is determined is that whenever the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said whenever a trustworthy Muslim, whenever he says he's seen the moon, then that's when every other Muslim on earth is obligated to start fasting.
MashaAllah. And he also gave the evidence, the hadith. That's the hadith. Ramadan does not begin with a local sighting of the moon, even though we have all these people in America and other places doing their own thing. But I want you guys to keep in mind, because every Ramadan, people come to me and say, Layla, why is the masjid looking for a local sighting? Remember that hadith, whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, out of every 1,000 people 999 of them are going to be in hell. Well, there's your evidence. 999 people that will be doing a local sighting, and you will be the only one following the Sunnah. So that's why there's going to be more people in hell than paradise, because most people disobey Allah. The people choose to do their own thing. They choose to not listen to what Allah said. They choose to add their own twist to what Allah says. So that's why most of Muslims will be looking for a local sighting. Well, most of Muslims in America, I'm telling y'all, will be looking for a local sighting. But is that the way we're supposed to begin Ramadan? No. Ramadan begins with any Muslim anywhere in the world, as long as that Muslim is trustworthy. So if the Muslims in China say that they saw the moon, we don't have no reason to not trust them. If the Muslims in Australia say that they've seen the new moon, we have no reason to not trust them. If the Muslims in Nigeria say that they've seen the moon, you have no reason to not trust them. So we follow the Sunnah. We accept their word, and everybody is supposed to begin fasting. That's the way Islam dictates to us. Now, whether the people follow that, most of them won't. But I want you guys to keep in mind, out of every 1,000 people 999 are going to hell. And that's probably one of the reasons why. You strive to be that one person that makes it to paradise. Good job, Brother Marar. Good job, Tahira. Okay, question number 2, true or false? We must actually look for the moon rather than say that you've seen the moon. Rather than use calculations, we must actually look for the moon. Is that statement true or false?
We're supposed to look for the moon. Can't use calculations.
Exactly. Now, does that mean that every single Muslim in the world has to go out and try to see the moon? Or can you just have a group appointed to do that?
A group.
Exactly. And I want you Muslims to understand that, because this was a question that one of the brothers asked yesterday. Should we all individually go out? No, because most of us are not educated. Let's just keep it real. Most of you can't tell the difference between a star or a moon or a meteor. Okay? So, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have everybody looking for the moon. He appointed people. There were certain companions who were skilled in that, who were skilled in recognizing what's in the sky. Today, we have telescopes. We have Muslim scientists. We have Muslim geologists like Dr. Dramali, Muslim scientists like Sheikh Morsi. We have Muslims now who use telescopes, and they will be looking for the moon for us. So if you have a group of people appointed to do that, we're good to go. Every country, I'm here to let you guys know, every country in the world just about has a committee. Even in America, we have a committee of scholars put together that look for a moon. And Dr. Dramali is one of them. Okay? Dr. Dramali is one of them. Australia, they have a committee of scholars that oversee that too. In Europe, United Kingdom, Germany, and those countries, they have committees of scholars to do that too. So you don't have to do anything except wait to hear it. You wait to hear from the people of knowledge, Because if the moon has or has not been seen, I usually send out an email letting everyone know. And I don't have to wait until the sun goes down in America. Do y'all understand that? That's another fitting. I don't have to wait. The prophet said, if any reliable Muslim says he or she has seen the moon, we accept it. So if we get the call from the scholars in Australia saying that they've seen the moon there, because it's usually in that part of the world first anyway, you know, we accept their sighting. So I don't have to wait until the sun goes down in California. Because that's what happens in America. They be afraid. Let me talk about that. I don't fear nobody but Allah. We got too many Muslims that scared. You know that the moon has been seen, but you scared to announce it because you don't want to make the people mad. Lailanasheeba don't fear nobody but Allah. So I ain't got to wait till California. California, that the Western Hemisphere of America is the last part to see them anything. You think I'm going to sit around waiting at 12 o'clock at night to hear what they done saw? No, I will post out from whoever in the world said they saw it. Nowhere did the prophet say you got to wait for the sun to set where you are. Everybody understand that. There's only one moon. There's only one Allah. And we're just one nation. Allah is witr. Allah loves witr. What does the Arabic word witr mean? It doesn't mean prayer like you think. It means odd number. No partner. Witr means no partner. No two. No, none of that. So there's only one moon, not two. So if the moon has been seen in Australia, Layla will put an email out. I'm not going to sit here and wait for the sun to set in California because I'm one of those scared people. I don't fear no man, no woman, no jinn, no child, no animal. I fear nothing but Allah. And we're not living to please the people. Remember, 999 of those people going to be in hell. Only one will make it to paradise. Strive to be that one. That's me. Allah loves witr. One. Everybody got it? You children got it. And I'm saying that for the kids here, because Islam is not about pleasing the people. You shouldn't be afraid to be a Muslim. You shouldn't be apologetic to say the moon's been seen in Australia. Oh, let's wait till the sun sets in California because we don't want any repercussion. I could care less about repercussions. Allah is in control of this. There will be repercussions if you don't let the people know the truth. Everybody got that? So good job. So, again, you can have a committee. That doesn't mean that every human being on the earth go out and got to see the moon for themselves, because you don't know what you're looking for. You can't tell the difference between the sky and the ground, to be honest. Most of y'all, if I were to give you a test, just tell me what prayer is in at what time of the day. You can't tell me. Most of you depend on those adhan callers. I use the sky. I can recognize the time of day from the sky. Hello, Bedouin here. Okay. All right. What about this question? True or false? It is obligatory for all children over the age of 7 to fast. Is that statement true or false? It is obligatory. And what does obligatory mean? That means it has to be done. If it's not done, you're going to go to hell. Remember that. It is obligatory for all children over the age of 7 to fast. True or false?
It's false, because at the age of 10, you're supposed to fast, but at the age of 7, you can practice.
Exactly. MashaAllah, the children know. Exactly. That's false. You're not obligated to fast. In other words, when I say obligated, Allah doesn't hold you accountable for anything until you reach the age of puberty. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said it's best to train and teach your kids to fast at 7. And then make them fast. Like the kids said, make them fast. Make them fast at the age of 10, because puberty is any day after that. You want to have your kids in a habit. The same with wearing hijab. I tell you Muslim women out there, you should have your daughters wearing hijab at the age of 7. How can you, what makes you think a teenage girl is going to want to cover her body living in America? You can forget that. Her period done came. She's an American in America. She going to want to be just like Cardi B and the rest of them. Just like her little friends in school. Because 9 times out of 10, you ain't even got your kids in Muslim school. Okay? So you should have your daughters wearing hijabs at the age of 7. And then make them wear it all the time at the age of 10. So that way, whenever her menses come, you don't have to worry about her sneaking out the house, going around in the garage, taking her clothes off, looking like Polyander with a boyfriend. You can blame yourselves for that as parents. So the Prophet said, train your kids to practice and perform the obligations when they are 7, and make them do them all when they are 10, because they're held accountable whenever puberty sets in. Good job. What about this? True or false? Children 10 or older who are not puberty, you should teach them to fast by having them fast half days first. Is that statement true or false? For children that are 10
False.
or older.
False.
Okay, it's false. Why is it false?
Because they should fast the whole day.
Exactly. MashaAllah. And I got a couple of parents here who's got 10-year-olds. I don't want to hear that. Your 10-year-old should be fasting the whole day. The Prophet said, make them fast the whole day at 10. Do you guys understand that? This is the test for many of you. For many of you parents, Ramadan is your test. The test to see if you are balanced in your wala wal bara, your allegiance to this religion. Are you balanced? Are you balanced in your love for your children? Do you love your children too much? If you're one of those parents that think it's not good to have your kids fast, and you got a 10-year-old little boy, a 10-year-old little girl, and you're going to tell them to do half-day fast, something's wrong with you. Because that 10-year-old boy could be out there selling drugs. Oh, yeah, the drug dealers pick him up at 10. Did y'all know that? The drug dealers look for them on Twitch and Trovo and D-Live, the gaming sites. They have the 10-year-old little boys out there selling drugs because the 10-year-old little boys don't have to go to do no time in jail. You think it's too cruel to have a 10-year-old girl fast? Well, guess what? There's a lot of 5th graders. I used to work as a substitute teacher. You know how many 5th grade kids, girls were pregnant? I'd have at least 3 or 4 5th, and 5th grade is 10 years old. I'd have at least 3 or 4 10-year-old girls in my substitute class that were pregnant. Go to any public school. I'm telling you guys, any public school, you're going to have at least 3 to 4 10-year-old girls who are pregnant with babies in their stomach. You think it's a cruel to have them fast, but those girls, can end up pregnant. They on their period. Your little boy could be a dope dealer, slinging that money. Think about that. All right, so 10 years old It's not no half-day stuff. I don't want to hear that from none of my parents here. None of my parents, I don't want any of y'all coming in here talking about, oh, I have him doing half days. How old is he? 10. Oh, no, he should be fasting the whole day. My daughter, she's 12. This is her first Ramadan. Oh, your daughter's 12, my foot. She better be doing a whole day. Whole day of fasting. Y'all got that? By the way, when I was 7, 8, 9, there was no such thing. I grew up in the 60s. Mukhtar and them too. You know, they came in the 70s. I grew up in the 60s. Mukhtar and them in the 70s, 80s. No, the 80s. They were the 80s. I'm older than them. We didn't do no half days. I was 7 years old and in the summertime fasting 16 hours. Subhanallah, this half-day stuff, I never heard of it before until I met these sisters on this website, because none of the women I know or grew up with, none of us did no half-day, nothing. We were made to fast the whole day. So I don't want to hear about that. 10 years old, they better be doing the whole day. All right, what about this? This is for the adults. What about bipolar people? Can bipolar people fast? And if so, are there any conditions to it or anything? Let's hear from you adults now. What about bipolarism? If you suffer with bipolarism.
If you suffer from bipolarism, it's recommended that you don't fast. If you are on medication, it might, if you are able to function and you do okay with your medication, then you can go ahead and fast. But some people, you cannot fast because it'll just turn, like basically mess with your mood and I guess the chemicals that are working in your brain. So it's not recommended. But on another case, if you are suffering with psychiatric issues, like for the case of schizophrenia, you should not fast.
Okay, the bottom line, and by the way, I'll be putting a poster out tonight. I got Dr. Ali, inshallah, on Sunday. This Sunday, coming up, inshallah, Dr. Ali is going to do a special presentation. He's a real medical doctor. He's going to talk about Ramadan and sicknesses like that and whether or not. The bottom line with schizophrenia, I don't know anybody that's schizophrenic don't even think about fasting. There's different types of mental illness. This question was about bipolarism, but for schizophrenia, any of you, and I do have several students who are schizophrenic. I got 1, 2, 3 that are schizophrenic. For my 3 schizophrenic students, don't even think about it. Gracie, don't even think about it, Gracie. Okay? Bipolarism is you need to consult with your medical doctor, because a lot of people are bipolar, but they may have it under control. It's not as bad as schizophrenia. You know, if you are bipolar and your doctor says, okay, the medicine is in your body good, you're taking your meds, you're functioning well, then you can go ahead and fast and continue to take your meds at night. Okay, or before Fajr. But consult with your doctor. But if your bipolarism is up and down, don't even try it. Because fasting will affect your metabolism. Fasting will jumpstart and put you on a chemical imbalance. So mental health people, schizophrenia, we're going to tell y'all, forget it. Period. Dot. Bipolar, it depends on where you are in your mind right now. Because some bipolar people don't need to be fasting either. So this is something that you need to talk about with your doctor. All right. What about this? If a person forgets that he or she is fasting and eats something, He has to make that day up. Is that statement true or false? As Ramadan has started, you're fasting. You forget that you were fasting. You sit there and drink a Starbucks. Do I have to make that day up? What do you think?
No, you don't have to make that day up. Allah does not hold you account for something that you forgot, but you better make sure you don't do it no more for the rest of the day.
Exactly. That's great. And she gave the dalil. Allah does not hold us accountable for what we forget. Okay? If you happen to be eating and remember, you spit it out and then keep on fasting. You don't have to make that day up. And we're going to talk about that during the month of Ramadan. Okay, and but you don't sit there and say, I forgot, so I just broke my fast, so I don't fast. No, you got to continue to fast. Does everyone understand? Good job with that. What about this? And I'm going to go over this stuff again when Ramadan starts, so don't worry. We'll go over all this again. What about this? If a person is traveling and wants to fast, he or she can. True or false? You're traveling. You're going out of town for your job, or you're going to visit your family. If you want to fast, you can. Is that statement true or false? Or do you have to break it? What do you think? I'm going out of town. I'm traveling. Do I have to fast? Can I continue to fast, or must I break it? What do y'all think? Come on, guys. This is easy. You should know this.
Continue.
Huh?
Continue.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I guess they're saying if you want to. If you want to. And that's it, guys. If you're traveling, if you want to fast, you can. You can. It's best to break it. The Prophet Muhammad said it's best to break it. But if you want to fast, you can. That's your choice. I remember when I lived, before I moved back here to where I'm living at now, my mother would come and visit during Ramadan, her and my daughter. My mother would still fast because she didn't want to make up them days, and she didn't want to pay no ransom. So, and I remember my daughter saying, shouldn't she break her fast? I said, it's best to, but if she wants to fast, nothing we can do.
Okay.
Does everybody understand? Hold on. Okay. Does everybody understand? So, it's best to break your fast when traveling, but if the person wants to fast, nothing we can do. They can if they want to. The Prophet never traveled and fasted. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam always broke his to be an example for the other people, because Allah doesn't want to cause a hardship to any of us. But if you want to fast, you can. What about this? How long can the traveler not fast when he's a traveler? Say, for example, I'm going to be spending 2 weeks in California for my job. I'm not fasting because I'm traveling, but how long can I go without fasting if I'm a traveler? That's the question. How long can the traveler not fast while traveling? Is there a limit to that? Come on, adults. I want to hear from the adults on this one.
There's no limit. It's basically until you settle or go back home. You have to be settled in that place for you to start fasting. That's
the correct answer, most correct. Now, there are some scholars out there who will tell you 4 days. What they base it on, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what they base it on, because there are numerous hadiths that you can find in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim alone, Whereas Ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, Sa'id al-Khudri, even Ali, they say that if the person is not settled, he can continue to fast until he becomes settled. There's hadiths where the companions traveled. And in Muwatta, they have hadiths where the companions traveled during the caliphate of Abu Bakr and Umar during Ramadan. And they did not fast at all while they were away. They made all them days up later. Okay, so you're going to hear some people say if you go out of town, you after the 4th day, you need to start fasting. Oh, really? I can bring you a hadith where Ibn Abbas was gone for 14 days. I can bring you another hadith from Sa'id al-Khudri where some of the companions were gone for 10 days. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to be honest, I don't know what they base that on, because I base everything I teach you guys on what the companions said and what the prophet said and what the companions understood it to mean. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't put no emphasis. There is no hadith with no emphasis from the prophet on that. And the companions, their understanding is as long as you are not settled. Does everyone understand that? Imam Ahmed is the one that said 4 days, but I don't know what he based it on, because I got hadiths from, you can find in Bukhari and Muslim, where the companion said it as long as you are not settled. Everybody understand that? But you have to make those days up. What about this? True or false? If you're traveling on a short journey, it's best to not break your fast. Is that statement true or false? If you're going on a short journey, it's best to not break the fast. Is that statement true or false? Come on, guys.
True.
Anybody else? Everybody agree with that? If you're going on a short journey, it's best to not break the fast. You guys?
No, it's false.
Yeah, that's false. Again, anytime you're traveling, Allah does not want to make the religion hard on any of us. Allah does not want any of us to think that He's oppressive. It doesn't matter if it's a short journey, you can break your fast. It doesn't matter if I'm traveling, for example, I live in the Falls. If I'm traveling from the Falls to Westlake, Ohio, okay, that's a whole nother city. You know, I can break my fast. If I choose to, I can break my fast because that's not part of my regular residence. And any type of journey is a hardship. Everybody understand? So, any questions on that? That's what we talked about yesterday. Any questions on any of that before we go to today? Because today, we're going to speak about sickness. We're going to speak about those types of sicknesses and also jobs. What about Ramadan and you're sick, or Ramadan and working? Any questions before we go to that? Okay, if not, let me put my PowerPoint. And I want you guys to take screenshots. You guys did good on the quiz. I'm proud of the kids. The kids, you guys did really good on that quiz. I'm very proud of all of you. You did a good job. Yeah, that 4-day, that's Imam Ahmed. Imam Ahmed's a view, but I'm telling you, there's hadiths that don't support that. And by the way, guys, don't raise your hands. Just get on the mic. Go ahead. If there's a question, ask it.
Is it okay if a little girl, like 5, 6 years old, can wear short sleeve?
Yes, I mean, if your mom wants you to dress, I mean, you're not held accountable until you are puberty. and you're 5 or 6, yeah, she can wear her little shorts and stuff. Yes. But when you 7 years old, you start covering up. 7 years old, I want to see those Bantu abayas on you, like the one I got on. 7 years old, I want to see those Bantu kimars, like I got on. You got that? These are crazy times. You walking outside with your little shorts on, you can be abducted. Amber alert. Y'all see how many Amber alerts there are? Those Amber alerts go off all the time. If one of those bad people wanted to do an Amber attack, are they going to pick the girl that's dressed like Layla, or are they going to pick the one in the shorts? They're going to pick the one in the shorts because, first of all, they're going to be too scared to come at Layla. They're going to say, oh, look at her. I think she's a princess. She might have some soldiers around her somewhere. We just can't see them. Look at her. She looks regal. She looks like royal. You can call me Queen Bee. She looks like a royal. So they might get afraid. They'll say, oh, we're not going to pick up her because she probably got bodyguards hiding behind the trees. So let's grab that little girl with the shorts on and a tank top, because that one dressed like that is a royal. You can call her Queen Bee. Okay? So, yeah, but when you turn 7, you better have that abaya on and those kimars like lailanasheeba. Keep it real. So that the Amber people, those Amber Alert people, won't come and abduct you. Too many kids are getting abducted every day. Okay? And we're going to talk more about the travelers. We talked about the travelers yesterday, habitual travelers. We talked about the habitual travelers. They can break their fast, but they have to make those days up. A truck driver, anytime you travel, that's a traveler anyway. He can break his fast, but he got to make them up. Y'all got that, truck drivers? If you want to break your fast because you got to travel for a couple of days, but you got to keep track of those days. Because when Ramadan ends, you got to make them up, baby cakes. And if you don't make them up, you got to also write down how many days it is. Because fasting, the month of Ramadan, this is a debt that you owe to Allah. If you die and that debt to Allah is not paid, your soul is going to be in between the two worlds. That ain't a good thing. So if you are a truck driver and you break your fast, you better keep a track of it and let the brothers at the mosque. I hope this ain't no woman asking, because women shouldn't be truck. It's not lawful. I'll just put it out there. It's not lawful for a woman to be a truck driver. Why? Where's my dalil? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no woman can travel, not even one day, without a mahram as a guardian, a protector for her. But if it's a man, you better keep track, so that way if you die, your wife can make up those days for you, or your children, or somebody can make up those days for you. Yes, we're going to talk about that when Ramadan begins. You know, if you got to break those fasts, if you die, your family can make them up for you, or the brothers at the mosque can. So if you a truck driver, you better keep track of how many days you got to make up. If you got 10 days, let the brothers know. Y'all know? Because if you die, that debt has to be paid to Allah. All right. Okay. So that's for the, and I'm glad that the sister asked that question for the brothers, because we do have some truck drivers here. So you brothers, keep a track. Yeah, you can break your fast, but make sure that you let everybody know how many days it is, so your family can fast for you, or the brothers at the mosque that's close to you can make up your days for you. Hello. Oh yeah. Paradise. Huh?
Assalamualaikum, Sister Layla.
Walaikum salam. You got a question?
Yep. So if you're sick with a common cold and you need to eat food to take a medicine, should you do it till you break your fast?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to talk about now. If you're sick because you got a cold, you can break your fast. Yes. But you have to make those days up. So you got to keep track of all the days. We're getting ready to talk about that now. Yeah. If you get the cold,
make the days up.
What?
He has to make the days up. How old are you?
Yeah, you have to make them up. Anytime you break your fast, from sickness, you have to make the days up, guys. And I'm getting ready to talk about that now. Let me put the PowerPoint up. Let me put that
Thank
up.
you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, but Allah's not mean. Allah's not cruel. You know, he doesn't want you to fast when you're sick. I mean, you sick with the cold, you got to take some Tylenol. You got to take, you get a fever. You know, the COVID is real. And that COVID is taking people down. They ain't dying from it, but it's taking them out. They taking them in their bed, confined to the bed for 2 weeks. It's a painful experience from what I hear. You know, my daughter had the COVID 8 times. Y'all know my granddaughter, Jayla. Jayla done had it about 4 times because she's a nurse's aide. My daughter's a nurse. They get it all the time. And that COVID ain't nothing to play with. But anyway, let me put this up here. Everybody take let me put, this, wait a minute. Which one I can keep this up, right? By the way, guys, please support this dawah effort. We need donations to cover our website expenses. Sister, who was it? The sister that sent us a Zelle, may Allah bless you, because we were in the hole. Can y'all believe that? We were $68 in the hole, but we got a donation today that took us out of that. Alhamdulillah. Let me put this up. Give me a second. Yeah, hold on. And take this down. Why is this thing not coming down? Yeah, I want the kids to take screenshots, so I want all of this down. Wait a minute. Ooh. And here we go. Almost time. You can tell it's almost time to fast Ramadan because my GERD has been acting up. Yeah, hold on. It's getting ready to hurt now. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna have to get some water because I'm having a GERD attack. That's weird too. I took my medicine. Hold on. I don't know what I ate that would cause me to have a GERD attack. Hold on. I'm trying to think. I don't know why I'm having a GERD attack. Okay, but anyway, I took that down, right? Okay. And by the way, that's the full moon. One of the kids wanted to know what a full moon looks like. This is what we'll be looking for to break our fast. When Ramadan ends, this is called the new moon. A new moon is when the moon is round like that and full. You can see it's like a ball. Excuse me. It's like a ball. That's a full moon. That's what we look for to break the fast. In other words, for Ramadan to end. When a month, we look for the crescent of the new moon, and this is the full moon. Y'all see how that look? Yeah. Okay, now let me share the PowerPoint to the people on Zoom. And by the way, have me on the big screen TV for the kids. The kids like to watch me on TV, guys. Yeah. They like to hear themselves on TV too and see themselves too. Okay. Wait, let me put this on Zoom. How many people I got in the Zoom? Okay, hold on. Zoomers. Let me get y'all set up here. Oh, wow. Good. I'm glad to see the kids are here. Let me see who all is here. Oh, mashallah. There's Tahir. Mashallah. Tahir is here. Yeah, the babies are all here. Everybody's here. Good job. All right. So that was my attendance for the Zoom room. Okay, let me share y'all to my PowerPoint. This is my PowerPoint for you guys in Zoom. Inshallah, y'all can be able to see it. For the people on YouTube, y'all looking at the full moon here. Hold on. This is the moon of the wolf. The she-wolf, Layla. Okay, here she goes. Let me turn y'all on. There's the PowerPoint for the people on Zoom and YouTube. All right. Now, let me know if it still shows up for them. Wait a minute. Let me go to what is this? Okay. Can y'all see it now? The people on, by the way, I'm streaming on Telegram too. Channel Sunnahfollowers. You see it now? Dr. Asim. There's Dr. Asim and them. Okay, there you go. And the people on Instagram, you guys should be able to see this too. I'm on all the social platforms. Right. Let me make sure Dr. Asim and them got that. Okay, so this is the PowerPoint. Let me make it big screen, full screen for the kids. And I want you guys to take screenshots. For those of you using your cell phones, your computers and laptops, take screenshots of these PowerPoints so you can print them out on your printer from your phone or your tablet, and the kids can staple it together so the kids can have this and you can have it too. My new Muslims, my new converts, Sister Sandra, Deborah, Hope. Yeah, I got Sister Hope is in there. Okay, make sure y'all you know how to do your screenshots. Yeah, and just print them out on your phone and you'll have all this information. Although I will go over this again. I'm going to cover all of this again, during the month of Ramadan. So don't worry, we'll go over it all again. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to speak about sickness and physically demanding jobs. And I'm just going to talk about regular sickness today. I'm not going to talk about the elderly. I'll do the elderly and that type of stuff. The people that may be exempt from fasting, I'll do that tomorrow. But today I'm going to speak about if you're sick with colds and things like that, just regular sickness instead of physical medical sicknesses. All right, so to show how Allah is not oppressive, how Islam is not an oppressive way of life, Allah tells us in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, whoever is sick or on a journey, the number of days in which they are not able to fast, they can make them up. So after Ramadan, like the truck driver, if you have to drive, take a load across country, of course you're going to break your fast, because how can you stay awake on that freeway? How can you stay awake on that freeway? It's dangerous if you're fasting because you're weak and not as alert. And it's boring, especially if you're driving through Kentucky, the worst state for truckers to drive through. Y'all can see I used to work with women whose husbands were truck drivers. And they would say, Layla, the longest, most boring state to drive through is Kentucky. It's a long state and it's just ridiculous. And I knew a lot of Muslim men who were trying to fast. When they get through driving through that Kentucky state, they'd have to pull over and break the fast. Oh, yeah. Well, that shows, the mercy of Allah. He doesn't want to impose fasting on you as an oppression. So if you're going to go as a trucker on a journey, break your fast, but make those days up. Make those days up later after Ramadan. And like I said, let your family know. And for those who are sick, the same thing. If you happen to get sick during Ramadan, you know, you get the flu or you catch a common cold, okay, don't fast because Allah doesn't want it to be a hardship. Break your fast if you're sick and make the days up later, but let your family, let your Muslim friends know how many days you owe. Because again, fasting the month of Ramadan is a debt, and all debts must be paid before you die, guys. And you never know when death will come. So if something happens to you, I can say, wow, well, Sister Latifa, I know she went out of town, or I know she was sick and she told me she had 4 days to make up. I'm going to fast on her behalf to make these days up for her because she was sick or because she had to go out of town. So let your family know, write it down or put it in your will. You know, I put it in my will. You know, I make an addendum to my will. I owe 5 days of Ramadan, 5 fasts. Okay. So you can break your fast if you're a traveler or sick. And the sickness does not have to be major. Okay. But it does have to be a real sickness, like you got a cold. Or, something, like the flu or something, but you cannot break your fast. You can't say, oh, I got a cough. What do you mean? I'm just coughing. I can't, it's not a cold, but I'm just coughing. So maybe that's for you to stop smoking them cigarettes. If you stop smoking them cigarettes, that cough will go away. And by the way, cigarettes break the fast. Ain't no smoking during Ramadan. But a lot of smokers, they cough all the time and they're trying to fast and they say, well, I'm coughing. Can I break my fast? No. They try to use the cough as an excuse to break their fast so they can smoke. No. Now, headaches. Like I was talking about yesterday, when you fast, you're going to get a headache. As my doctor explained, and I'm sure Dr. Ali is going to talk about this Sunday, when we're fasting, our sugar drops in our body. That's normal. So you might get a slight headache, but it goes away when you break your fast. When it's time to break the fast, as soon as you eat something, it goes away. That's why dates, it's good to break your fast with dates because dates have natural sugar in them. Or figs, they have natural sugar in them and they take that headache away. Or you drink some frappuccino, it goes away. Not only because of the caffeine headache, but also the sugar that's in there will take that headache away. But just a regular headache that is not that type of headache, you don't break your fast for that. But if you have a severe headache, like a migraine headaches are not like the headache you get from fasting. A migraine headache is not a stress tension headache either. Migraine headaches are severe. And if you don't break the fast and take your medicine for it, it can get worse. So if you got a migraine headache or a cluster headache, break your fast. But a regular headache that comes from fasting, no. You guys got to suck it up because it's going to go right away when you eat. And it's not that painful. Okay? What about this? Say you're fasting. All of a sudden, you start having I'm talking severe pain. You don't know what's causing it, but your back is hurting so bad. I mean, it's not a regular pain. And you got to take a pain pill for it. Otherwise, you can't walk, you can't stand. So something that's a major pain, break your fast. But a minor pain, oh, well, my finger hurts. Your finger hurts? Don't break your fast for that. Or I cut my finger. So if you cut your finger, put a Band-Aid on. You don't break your fast unless you got to go get stitches and it's a severe cut. That's different. But just because you were chopping onions and cut your finger, no, that's not a sickness where you break your fast. A runny nose, because your nose is running, that's not a reason to break the fast either. How many of us have runny noses? My nose runs all the time. I have runny eyes. I have allergies. Can I fast? Yes, I can fast. Okay, but you know, if you sick because you got the flu or you got COVID, you got a common cold, break your fast. Okay, everybody understand? A toothache. If the toothache is so bad, it's not getting no better, it's getting worse, then you can break the fast. So it depends on what type of sickness it is. If it's a minor sickness, no. But if it's a sickness that's going to only get worse, break the fast and make those days up later. Okay? But we have to take this into consideration. If there's medical proof or evidence, or if a person knows, or he is certain that fasting will make his sickness worse, then that's when you break it. That's why I'm saying migraine headaches, cluster headaches, they only get worse if you don't take the pain medication. Okay? But if it's not going to get worse, then you can continue. For example, my arthritis. A lot of us live with arthritis. That pain just doesn't go away. Can I fast? Yes, I can fast. I'll just take my Tylenol before I fast, and I'll break my fast with the Tylenol. But if it's that severe arthritic pain that can that can cause you to not even walk, then I would break it. Y'all understand? So it depends on the sickness. If it's a sickness that's gonna get worse, if it's a pain that you know from experience, if you don't take your pain medication, it's gonna get worse, break the fast. Okay? Also, if a person is seriously ill, he does not have to have the intention during the night to fast the next day. Say, for example, you have COVID. You don't have to make intentions to fast the next day because you got COVID. You're going to be down for a while. Okay? Y'all got that? Why would you make intentions to fast if you got the flu? When you running a fever, you know you ain't going to be able to fast tomorrow. You coughing, you sneezing, you got a fever coming and going. You going through shakes and chills, and you got diarrhea and all of that going on. You can forget about making intentions to fast because you're going to be down. And we're going to talk about the intentions too. Because the intentions to fast, you can make your intention to fast when Ramadan begins for the whole month too. And I'm going to talk about that. But the bottom line, if you're sick with something like the flu or COVID, you know that you're not going to be able to fast for a minute, then you don't have to worry about having intentions. Okay? What about this? The person is afraid that they're going to experience unconsciousness. In other words, you got some type of sickness. And there are some sicknesses that fasting, going without your water or food, can cause you to fall out unconscious. If that's the case, you're fasting and you realize that you're starting to get sick, you're starting to get woozy, and you know that this has happened before, that if you go without your water or your food, you can fall out because of your sickness, then you should break your fast and make that day up later. And there are some sicknesses. Let me give you an example. I have what they call GERD. A lot of women who have bariatric surgery. I had bariatric surgery 10 years ago. Okay, well, over 10 years ago. And one of the side effects is we get GERD. GERD. GERD doesn't cause you to go unconscious. But when a GERD attack occurs, like I was just having a few minutes ago, it starts in your the bottom pits of your stomach, and it goes through your colon, your bowels, and all of that. It can turn into irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, no problem. That's normal, just diarrhea. Or it can back up. It can back up and come up through your esophagus. Now, that's what's the problem. So usually if you're having a GERD attack, you can drink some water. Drinking water to flush the acid that's in the esophagus back down. If you drink the water, when you feel it bubbling up in your stomach, your gut, that water will cause that acid to flush down and go through the bowel. And it'll turn into irritable bowel syndrome or diarrhea, but it won't come up through that esophagus. Now, that's an example of knowing that you got a sickness. And if you don't do what it takes, that sickness is going to get worse. Okay? So GERD, people like me with GERD, I have to fast. Because GERD is chronic. But I never know when it's going to occur. It's never going to go away. Ain't no cure for it. But we don't know when it's going to just flare up. I don't even know how it flared. Today, I don't know what I did. I've been eating and drinking water. I don't even know why it flared up today. Subhanallah, but I took it out. I took that water and it took it down. Okay. In that case, then we have to break the fast. I would break my fast and take the water, and make that day up. But I have to first start off fasting. So I make my intentions to fast every night, But if I have to break it because a GERD flares up, Layla will break it in a heartbeat, because it's better that way, better down than up. Because if I don't, it's going to come up. And who wants that? Then you in the hospital with a problem. Okay? And it's not a nice problem. So, the same with people who are unconscious, who suffer with a sickness that causes unconsciousness, like diabetes. You're fasting. Diabetics can fast. And by the way, insulin does not break the fast. I'm going to talk about that. If you're a diabetic on insulin, no problem. You can fast. But if you start feeling that diabetic feeling that, something's wrong. My blood sugar done went down to the point where I'm feeling dizzy. I'm feeling like I'm about to fall out. Then you break your fast and make that day up. And if something happens and you're diabetic and you do fall out unconscious, and when you come to, it's after Maghrib, guess what? Your fast was still valid. As long as you were fasting, since after Fajr. Does everybody understand that? Say, for example, Latifa she's got diabetes, but she's fasting. All of a sudden, she says, wait a minute, I'm starting to feel weird, man. Man, I'm about to fall out. And next thing she knows, she wakes up at nighttime. She fell out. Well, guess what? Her fast counted. She doesn't have to make that day up or anything because she started that day off fasting. And I'm going to talk about that in more detail too. As long as you start the day off fasting from Fajr, and if you fall out sometime before Maghrib, then according to most of scholars, your fast is valid. But if you were unconscious at Fajr, then it's not. And we'll talk more about that. Okay. Now, this is the question. There's different opinions about whether or not a person who was unconscious has to make up their fast or not. But I'm going to give you the opinion of the scholars of this website here at Sunnah Followers. It is our opinion as such. The pen is lifted because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the pen is lifted when a person is unconscious. And so since the pen is lifted, that means the person's not held accountable for what he did not do while in that state. So if a person is unconscious, there's no need to make up their fast. That's the opinion of all of us here at Sunnah Followers. That's myself, Dr. Jamali, Sheikh Morsi, Dr. Asim. That's all of our opinion here because the pen is lifted. You got some people that say, oh, a person was in a coma. Say, for example, you were sick and in a coma for the month of Ramadan for 30 days. Now you come out that coma. You got some people who say you're supposed to make up your Ramadan. No, that's not our view here because the Prophet was clear. The pen is lifted. So if you were in a coma during the month of Ramadan, you ain't held accountable for that. You're not held accountable for your prayers. You're not held accountable for your fast. You're not held accountable for anything because you were not there. So there's no need to make up your fast. But you got some people that say you do, but this is the most correct view that we follow here. Everybody understand that? The pen is lifted. What are you making it up for? You had nothing to do with it. You were unconscious. Okay? What if the fasting person feels extreme hunger to the point that you think you will die? First of all, for you American Muslim kids, let's talk to the children. My cheering here on the Sunnah Followers website, you guys come from nice families. You eat good meals. Your families cook those nice big African meals. You eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know, you're not going to die. I don't want to hear none of the kids say, oh, I think I'm going to die, so I think I'm going to die too. Life is death. But no, you don't break your fast. However, say, for example, the children in Gaza. Now, that's different. The Muslims in Gaza, these people have no food. These people have no water. They're being starved. But they're still trying to fast the month of Ramadan. But if they are so weak that they feel that they about to die, then that's different for them. They can break their fast, but they make it up later. Does everybody understand that? But for you kids living here in America, my Sunnah follower children, no, you cannot break your fast. You hear that? I got a couple of kids, one of the little boys yesterday, he said, I don't want to fast. I said, why come you don't want to fast? Because I don't want to go without eating. Well, that's your problem. You got to fast, brother. You got to fast. Your mom and dad has to make you fast. You are not going to die because you went 8 hours without eating. You're only fasting for 8 hours. Think about those children in Gaza who have nothing to eat at all, but they're still fasting. Subhanallah. Now, what about people who work physically challenging jobs? For example, you're a construction worker. You have to stand outside and work in the sun or whatnot. So what? That's life. That's your job. You should be used to it. You cannot break your fast. You still have to fast just like everybody else. You understand that? Construction workers, window washers. There's some men that wash windows and they on that thing. You know, so what? You still got to fast. You should be used to it. This your job. However, if you are afraid, say for example, you just got over the COVID, let's talk about it. Sometimes people come back from the COVID and they're really weak. Okay, you just got over the COVID, you go to work and your boss tells you that you got to go up on the 24th floor on that thing and wash the windows on the 24th floor, and you're still weak. You're still weak. You're still weak from the COVID. Well, in that case, you can eat only a little bit of what you need to help you get up on that thing and go wash them windows. But guess what? You still got to make that day up. So what's the point? You still got to make that day up. Anytime you break the fast, you have to make it up. Y'all understand that? You're not exempt from making it up. And also, what we encourage people who work physically demanding jobs to do, this is the time to take vacation. You know, try to change your hours. Go on vacation. Do like the twins do here at my website. Norto and them, they're going on vacation from their job. Okay, take your Ramadan vacation. But you still cannot use your job, you know, as an excuse to get out of fulfilling obligations to Allah. And I hope this is clear. Remember, Allah tells us in the interpretation, the meaning, whoever fears him and keeps their duty to him, he will make a way for you to get out from every difficulty. And he will provide you from sources you never imagined. So think about it. That's what makes Ramadan such a sacred month. This is why Allah loves the month of Ramadan, because you're sacrificing for him. So for those of you who work demanding jobs, look at the sacrifice you're making for the sake of Allah. I got to go to work even though it's hot outside. I'm still going to work, making that money to take care of my family, because I know that it's a responsibility I have to do because Allah imposed it upon me. This is how you earn the love of Allah. Remember, Allah has promised he will never allow the hellfire to touch anyone whom he loves. So we should be spending every day of our lives doing the deeds that are pleasing to him in hopes of earning his love. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments about any of this? And like I said, I'm going to review this again. Don't worry. I know it's a lot, but we're going to go over it again when Ramadan begins. So don't worry. But I just want you guys to get a notion as to what is expected of everyone here before Ramadan. Yeah, any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
What happens if you do good and do bad at the same time?
Well, Allah rewards you for the good you do, and he punishes you for the bad you do. And it depends on what type of bad you do. Because if you are deliberately, intentionally doing bad things, Allah doesn't reward you for none of your good deeds. And that's something that we got to remember, guys. If a person is deliberate, and we're going to talk about that during the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is the month of trying to get close to Allah. We have to remember, if you are deliberately, intentionally disobeying Allah, Allah is not rewarding you for your good deeds at all. For example, you sisters out there who are not wearing hijab, what's the point in fasting? Allah is not going to accept your fast. He's not accepting no prayers or anything else from you because you're deliberately, intentionally disobeying him. You're letting the world know that you don't really believe in him, not as you should. You're letting the world know that you pick and choose what you want to obey him with. So that's why I'm telling you, sisters, y'all better put them hijabs on. My new shahadas in here, these new converts. You women better start wearing them hijabs. You better check out Jamila Pasha and get jiggy with it. Subhanallah. Otherwise, you're just starving yourselves. Allah does not accept our good deeds if we're deliberately, intentionally disobeying him. Yeah. Any other questions? By the way, guys, we have the Hadith class tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, hold on, this weekend, like I said, I got to put this up too from Dr. Ali. I'm going to put this out. I'm going to work on it today. This weekend, we have two special events. I got to put this out. On Saturday and also on Sunday. Saturdays will be at 11 a.m. No, it's not. I got to contact Dr. It's 2:30. Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Ali is going to do a special about how to help prepare us for Ramadan, how to get the hope back in us, how to try to, get ourselves calm and ignite our fitra to get ready for Ramadan. That's going to be Saturday at 2:30. And then Sunday we have a workshop, a Ramadan workshop at 4:30. At 4:30, that's when Dr. Ali is going to speak about how to get the most out of Ramadan, what breaks the fast, what doesn't break the fast. He's going to talk about sickness, medication. He's going to talk about rulings specific to women and more. So that's this weekend. So we're going to have another Ramadan prep from Dr. Ali this weekend, inshallah. So just put that on your schedules, inshallah. All right, if there's no questions, I'm going to log out for now. And please support us, guys. We are desperately in need of donations. This is the beginning of the month. Please scan that QR code. Go to PayPal me/Sunnahfollowers and make a donation to cover our website expenses if you enjoy learning Islam and its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions here. So I'm going to close out for right now. And I'll be back at 9. Okay? No other questions, right? I'm looking at the kids. Good job. You did? The little kids, you wrote it, you screenshotted everything? Okay, he said it makes a lot of sense. He said, thank you for making it so clear. So you understand, you're going to be fasting, right? Oh, yeah. You can do the whole day too. You're 11. You can do the whole day. And you should be happy it's not summer. I had to do it in the summertime. You'll be breaking your fast at 7:30, 8 o'clock, so you can handle it. Alhamdulillah. All right, guys, I'll see you back here in an hour. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika.